Okay, so today we are making chicken pot pie from scratch. So we have we have a cup and a half of flour with about 8 or 9 tablespoons of butter, which can I say your name? Yeah. Which Christina has cut into the flour, so it looks like this. I'm trying to copy my videos I see on YouTube. With a little bit of salt. And hey Grayson, what's up, buddy? Okay, yeah, we're filming. So she'll always have this to go back to. Hopefully nobody else sees this. All right, so now we're gonna add some cold water. We're gonna start with a couple tablespoons and we'll just continue from there. Again, I do this in the food processor. So. You can also do this in the food processor, which I highly recommend with your dough blade. It's less elbow grease. So we're going to add a couple tablespoons at a time. And you can go up to 4 or 5 tablespoons. It depends on the humidity in your climate where you live. And it's dry here, so we're going to need more. So probably at least 4 tablespoons before the dough starts to come together. Well, we're going to need a lot more than 4 tablespoons, I think.
So we did,
because it's so dry. Right now we're at about 4.
okay, and we started with a cup and a half of flour.
Yep, we have a cup and a half of flour, a half teaspoon-ish, give or take, of salt, depending on your preference. You know, everybody's different. I like my food salty. And it depends on the salt you're using too.
How many peas?
We use about a cup of peas, 2 russet potatoes, which we peeled and diced into 1-inch chunks. And then we just took some carrots and sliced them. I'd say a total of maybe 2 full medium-sized carrots, give or take. It depends on what your family likes too. Everybody's different. Okay, can I have just a little splash more of water, please? Make sure your water is cold. You do not want to be working with anything but cold water. It's supposed to be ice cold, but we're gonna just make it cold instead. And as we all know, you can put water in, but you can't take it out. So don't over water your flour, because then you end up with goopy mess, and then you have to add more flour to it, and then you're throwing off the measurements at that point. Because then you're gonna put more butter in it too. So don't even. Just add a little bit at a time, and now you can. When your dough starts to come together, I'm going to show you or the thing. Okay. And you squeeze it and it stays. You're good. You don't have to have any more water. So what we're going to do now is we are going to get some plastic wrap, which I think is in here.
How much do you know?
Like a foot. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. What we're going to do to avoid it all over the counter. We'll have to put on the counter later, but we don't have to do that now. We have to refrigerate this dough for, as long as possible. We want that butter just to get hard again so we can roll this out. So, do what you can. In this case, I usually make the dough like in the morning or whenever you have time, late at night. Whenever you have time, make the dough, wrap it, and you're gonna bring it together. Oh yeah, this looks great. This feels great. You want to feel it?
You're the next Rachel Ray.
Feel it? Feel it with your hand. It's not sticking to you, which is perfect because you don't want it sticking to you.
Right.
It's not a sopping mess. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to make it a flat disc only because we don't have a lot of time before we're going to use it today. So normally I would make it into something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Because it's going to be in the refrigerator all day, but this is not. So we're gonna cheat by making it flatter, so it hardens up quicker this way. Okay. And then we'll roll it out when we're ready. We're gonna move on to the filling. So we took a rotisserie chicken, which I highly recommend, but you can also do a whole chicken in your Instant Pot, which is the best invention on earth. It's worth its weight in gold. It absolutely is.
All right, I'll get another
No,
one.
it's there's no, I spend a lot of my time in the kitchen. And that is my favorite of everything I've ever owned.
That's what
There's
I've
nothing
heard.
better than an Instant Pot.
That's where she got it from, yeah.
Nothing. Okay. See, you can see the little bits of butter in there? That's what we want. We want it spread throughout. That's gonna make the most delicious crust you will ever have. And it was only 3 ingredients: water, salt, oh, so no, 4 ingredients: water, salt, flour, and butter. That's it. Easy peasy.
In the refrigerator, not the freezer.
Yeah, don't put it in the freezer, yeah. Unless you were gonna use it for another day, then absolutely you can freeze it. Do you wanna bring the camera over to the stove so we can show your future self what we're doing over there?
Yep.
Since I don't have a written recipe. Sorry, I have foot problems, so I gotta use a pad under my tootsies so I don't have aching later on in the day. Okay. All right. So, I'm just gonna all right. So we have about, I don't know, 2 to 3 cups of chicken. I recommend that you do use rotisserie because it's just less time, unless you have the time. Than
So
do it
if you
yourself.
were gonna prepare it in an Instant Pot, how would you do that?
Okay, so in an 8-quart Instant Pot, which is what I recommend that everybody have, I would put in about 1.5 cups of water, and then you put your trivet that comes with the Instant Pot inside of your pot. You take your chicken and you just place it in there. You don't even have to salt it. You can if you'd like. Again, depends on your time. If you have time, you know, throw some thyme in there, throw an onion in there, throw a carrot in there, throw some celery in there, throw some garlic in there. If you don't have time, then don't do any of that. Put the Instant Pot lid on, seal it to seal position on top, and then you would hit pressure cook, and it's 8 minutes, well I say because of our elevation here, we do 9 to 10 minutes per pound because of our elevation. Okay, because we have to add more time onto ours than we would if we lived down in the valley. So 10 minutes per pound, I'd like to round up, so I'm rounding down with meat. And make sure it's thawed, you're not working with frozen, because frozen is a whole different time scale. So if it's thawed, it's 10 minutes a pound. So look on your package. If it's almost 5 pounds, round it up. Do it about times 10. Set it and leave it. And then after it dings and is ready, let it sit in there on its own and release on its own. Because it'll make for a tender meat. If you hurry up and break the seal and let the steam come out, the meat seizes up. And then you have tough meat, and no one likes tough meat.
Oh, wow.
No one. So anyway, or just do a rotisserie chicken, which I honestly recommend because it's so tender and delicious. And it's not that much, it's about the same price as if you were to buy it at the store and you do all the work yourself. So honestly, I'm a fan of the rotisserie for this
I
recipe.
think it's less than $5 at Sam's Club for rotisserie chicken.
Oh.
It's like $4.88.
It's hard to beat that because they're doing all the work for you. And, let's see, where are we at?
Cushion.
Oh, yours is. Oh, this is much different. Oh, mine. Okay. All right. So, on medium heat, we are going to start. We need our flour, and we need our chicken stock, and we need a fat. So any fat will do, either a butter or avocado oil or whatever oil you have.
That cupboard right
Oh.
there. Do you want more than that?
What is
See
it?
the cans, aerosol cans?
No. I need where I can pour it.
Walnut oil, olive oil. Not all.
Do you have butter?
Yeah.
Do you have any butter left? Okay. Yeah, butter's the best.
And flour.
Yeah, I'll need, you're gonna do equal parts to your fat, to your flour. So if you're using 2 tablespoons of fat, you need to use 2 tablespoons of flour. And you could do this if you're gluten-free, though the crust we made is not gluten-free, but if you're gluten-free, you could use, to thicken this, you can use arrowroot powder. It's very good for you. It's healthy and it is gluten-free. So there's, and I think there's other things you could, cornstarch you can use too. I mean, there's more ways to do it, so. I don't measure anything. But for those that use that to measure, equal parts of fat to flour.
There you go.
Thank you. So I'm gonna get this butter melted without burning it because we don't want it we don't want it brown. We just want it melted. And then, do you have a whisk? Right here?
It's either in the bottom. No.
Oh, this one?
No. There. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's right in front of you in that silver.
Oh! Didn't even see it. All right. And now I need your salt and your pepper. Okay. So it's optional. You don't have to do garlic. There's nothing I don't put garlic in except for cheesecake. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, and I don't know, is this 2 cloves?
Yeah.
Okay, totally optional. You can do 1 clove, you can do 2, you can do 10. You can do none. Whatever floats your boat, right?
I have a jar of minced garlic in the refrigerator too.
No.
Oh.
Don't ever buy that stuff.
Oh, really?
I've seen a documentary on that.
Okay. Why not?
Because the people that are peeling that are peeling that in factories with unsanitary conditions, and it's not something that you want to ingest.
I buy it at farmer's market.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Farmers market. I've never seen it at the farm. At our farmers market?
No.
Oh, this would be fine.
Okay.
Absolutely. Don't buy like the jarred stuff at Fry's or, you know the jarred stuff I'm talking about, like at Safeway or whatever. That's a no-go.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
So we'll saute the garlic for, just to take the bite off of it, because again, no one wants to, except for me, but no one wants to bite into a raw piece of garlic.
Do you eat raw onions too?
Oh, are you kidding me? I love them. Every day. Every
Do you
single
cry?
day. No. Maybe of happiness. No. I cry for other reasons, and don't get me started on her again. Started on her.
She'll be.
No, don't.
Any
Oh,
portion.
honey, only baby got me wrong.
Oh, we need music. That reminds me.
I'm just
So-
it is what it is.
So.
It is what it is. I calls it like I sees it. She'll live longer than me. Mark my words. Mark 'em. Mark 'em. God is my witness. Your God is my witness. Right now, she'll live longer than me. Okay. Enough about that. Let's go on to something else.
I got fresh thyme.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I added a teaspoon of fresh thyme, which is way better than dried in my humble opinion. But use dried if that's what you have. But just use something. Some sort of herb. Because fresh herbs make everything taste better in my opinion. And in most people's opinions.
By the
So
way,
amazing.
we're making chicken pot pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did I not mention that? Oh. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't remember.
We kind of started in the middle.
Oh man, this is my first time ever doing like a video. I know it's obvious to all y'all.
No, it's not. You're very charismatic with the camera. I love it.
Oh, Christina, it's all right. You don't have to say things that aren't true. It's okay. All right, so chicken broth or veggie broth if you want. Just do chicken. You know what? Just do chicken. Don't do veggie broth. Unless that's all you have in your pantry, then yes. Then use it. Because you don't want to go to the store just for chicken broth. But hopefully you have chicken broth in your pantry, or you can make it in your Instant Pot. And it is amazing.
I'm surprised.
Amazing.
Have you dabbled with vegetarian or vegan?
I was a vegetarian for 4 years, and I was a vegan for 2 weeks.
I was gonna say,
Most
hippies are.
Yeah, I could go,
I think I could be vegetarian.
I could do it again. But it's with kids, it's just it's harder when you're cooking for other people. But if it's just me or me and my lover, then I could definitely be vegetarian again. I could probably be vegan except for just have to have eggs, because I love hard-boiled eggs. So I feel like I could get rid of the cheese, but I would never get rid of the eggs.
Oh, I love
Because I just
cheese.
look. Oh, do you? I mean, I like cheese, but I don't love cheese.
Yeah.
You know? But if you love cheese, I have a friend that's a vegetarian. He's been one for 20 years. Amazing dude. And he loves his cheese. And I don't know. It's just okay. Unless it's feta, and then I'll eat it. Nobody's gay. If he wasn't, I'd probably marry him.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, he's a sweet man. Or is a sweet man. But he likes, no like me. No likey me.
What are you doing with the phone thing?
We're videotaping this for YouTube. Because your mom's going to be famous. Famous.
She is? You
No,
are?
I'm not. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be famous, honey. I'm just being silly.
But
I'm
why
just
are
being
you
a silly girl.
videotaping it though?
By accident only. All right, so add a little salt, a little pepper, or a lot of pepper. Do you guys like a lot of pepper or a little bit of pepper? I'm not picky. But how about little guy? Does he like pepper?
Probably not.
Okay, so that's all personal preference. I didn't put much in at all. And then as far as the broth goes, I don't measure. So I would say about, this is 4 cups, I'd say 2 cups. Half of it. And then you might need more. It just depends. And we're preheating the oven to 375. If you have a pie pan, get out your pie pan. This also works beautifully, so if you don't have one, don't go buy one for the sake of it. It's just such a waste. And you have to store it in your kitchen, and it's ridiculous. So use what you have. We're using this, which is an 8x8 or a 9x9. This is an 8x8. Whatever, both work. Okay. So we're gonna let this thicken up for just a couple minutes and kind of let the flavors marry, because we have that fresh thyme in there and the garlic.
It smells really, really good. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It's my natural desire to put more pepper in things. So what I'll have you do in a minute is taste it for salt. And if it needs more, we'll put more in. If it doesn't, we're going to leave it be.
Okay.
We're just going to give it a second to marry, and then you can try it out and see what you think. I'm not going to taste it because I'm not eating this. You are. So it has to be good for you guys.
Got it.
And then we'll dump in our vegetables, our peas, our carrots, our potatoes, but you could add whatever vegetables you wanted. Some people put little mini pearl onions in their pot pie.
Ooh.
If you want to do that, you could. If you don't,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, have them, great. You don't have them, great. Whatever. Otherwise, celery. If you like celery, we can put some celery in there. It honestly, when you go to restaurants and order pot pie, there's a variety of vegetables. Some people put mushrooms in them. Some people don't. So you just kind of just go with what you float your boat, or what's in your fridge at the time. So you don't want to be going to the store all the time for this. You just want to shop once and be done. So, all right, it's thickening up really nice. I'm going to show the camera, so. Ooh, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it's thick. It's like a gravy at Thanksgiving with all that flour in there. We'll add some celery here, and we are ready to go. Christina, I'll have you try it out for salt. If it needs more, then you just add what you think it needs.
Okay.
Because you're the one.
Are you gonna put this actually on YouTube?
Christina, she has a channel. Mama doesn't. I just watch other people.
Oh,
Mama
that'd be
doesn't.
cool.
Mommy doesn't know how to do any of these
That-
fancy things.
Mama,
Plus I have
I'm
an
sure
extra
you would be
chin that I
great
want
at
the
it
world to see.
though.
It might be a little hot. Does it need more salt?
A little bit more.
Okay, like
A little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper.
Okay. Yeah. And then I'm gonna have you try it again then, because again, I'm not. Do you ever use this? I'm not tasting, so I don't know.
It really is Lowry's.
What is it?
Lowry's.
Oh no. Mm-mm. I mean, as a kid we did, but no. No. But you can make your own if you want, right? Yeah, you just look at the back of it, and then you can make your own. If you have all the ingredients. So I don't know what's paprika. It's probably some onion powder, some garlic powder.
Yep.
Don't mind the children in the background. This house is full of them right now.
I love it.
It's full of babies.
It is.
Large babies, but they're still babies. Be careful, dude. You don't want to fall. All right. Oh, I was talking to the other one, not you. Oh, applies to everybody. All right. You want to get your spoon?
Mom, I'm sure you could be on a show. You could be really good at it. You're good at cooking.
Oh, thank you, Sienna.
I mean, I'm sure you would be great. You
I
should
know,
try.
Mommy just doesn't like doing like all the technical stuff because that's just not my cup of tea.
So I'll bake, and then I'll do all the technical. And you just act.
Okay. What do you think? More salt?
No, it's perfect.
Okay. So now we're gonna add in our chicken again. Add as much as you want. I'd say at least 2 cups. This is about 3 cups of chopped up rotisserie, but if you want to throw a whole one in and make it yourself in your Instant Pot, then you can also do that. I'm really pushing the Instant Pot, and I always will, to the day I die. Yes, Sienna? Not right this moment, but in a little bit you can.
Okay, a little bit is good.
Instant Pot is not a sponsor.
Oh, no.
Yet. Not yet.
No.
It will be.
I love me my Instant Pot. I'm telling you, that thing is a
What's your
lifesaver.
favorite thing to cook in it?
Everything. I like doing hard-boiled eggs in it. I make beans in it. I make dry beans. I make soups in it. I make roasts in it. I mean, that thing is just so versatile, and it doesn't heat up your house in the summer. Because in our beautiful town, we don't have ACs in our homes, most of us anyway.
Right.
So because of that, you don't want to turn on the oven in the summer because you just don't want to. So use your Instant Pot. It doesn't heat up your house and it cooks things so much better. And you don't have to babysit. You know, you don't have to babysit things like you would if it was in a crock pot or if you put it in the oven. I'm adding more chicken stock because this is not enough. You'll have to gauge it yourself. We're probably going to end up using 3 cups. But again, if you're cooking for more people, then you might, if you have a bigger pan than an 8x8, you might need more. You'll have to just gauge it. Okay. Now we've got our celery,
That's the rooms upstairs.
our peas, our potatoes,
Well, you already went in the bathroom.
and our carrots. We're just heating these up a
You
little
didn't give
bit.
me a chance to run. That's not fair.
Let me get these going. Oh boy, yummy, yum. This will last you guys a couple meals.
Nice. Well, at
You
least.
know?
Yeah.
So, and you're gonna love the crust. It is amazing. It really is. My kids go nuts for it.
So if I have almond powder and I'm attempting to be a little bit more gluten-free, would I can use that too, right?
You know, almond powder is different because it's more dense.
Okay.
So you need less of it and more liquid.
Ah.
So I can't give you measurements for that.
Okay.
It's not equal. They're not equal. You know what I mean? It's not a 1 cup of flour equals 1 cup of. It's just not.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to use less, and you can tweak it and try to figure it out yourself.
Okay.
But
It's different.
it's way different.
Okay.
But there's a will, there's a way. Okay. It looks like we are going to end up using 3.5 cups.
That was my dad's favorite quote, Diane.
What?
If there's a will, there's a way.
Oh, it's true. It really is. Oh, this is so pretty. Look at all the colors from the carrots. Oh, that's nice. It's so beautiful. Okay. All right. So we're just going to leave this and let it just kind of marry for a little while before we add it to our pan. So we're going to submerge those potatoes. I want the potatoes to cook a little bit.
So
Because if they don't cook, they're going to have to cook longer in the oven. Because, you know, it'll take quite a while to cook through. So I'm just going to use all 4 cups. We're going to have extra. It's not all going to fit in this. But that's okay because you can make it as a soup. Whatever doesn't go in. Or just eat it with a spoon. Or you can even do this with prepared biscuits if you want, or bake your own biscuits. You don't have to have a traditional crust. You know, there's other ways to do that. All right, so let's let this come to a little simmer to get those potatoes really, and the carrots, though we cut the carrots pretty small, but let's let them get slightly soft before we add it to our pan and roll out our dough, and then we can pop her in the oven. So Christina, we're just gonna let this sit and let this simmer, which I already told the camera so you can come play it back, so if you missed anything. Okay. Because the potatoes are gonna take quite a while, as you would imagine, to cook through in the oven. So I like to give them a head start on the stove by just letting them simmer for like 5 minutes. And then that way it doesn't have to cook as long in the oven. Or if you don't give them a head start, it'll cook that thing forever. The crust is probably gonna burn before the potatoes are like fork tender. So
does Keith love that you cook?
He has not known anything different. I've never not cooked, so he wouldn't know. I've always cooked.
And then Sharon cooked before.
I'm sorry, what?
Did Sharon cook before you?
Sharon. Oh, yeah, she cooks.
And she's a fast one.
She cooks. And Keith doesn't cook.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
at all.
Because you guys weren't married until you were in your mid-20s.
Yeah, we were married. I was 27.
Wait, why is it timer on him? That is weird.
He was 31. So yeah, he never cooked. He still doesn't. I do all the cooking.
Who cooked for him from 18 to 20?
He would take food to go. He ate out at restaurants because he was a single guy. He had money, and it was just him. So he would just go and order his Italian food for the night. And go home and eat in his apartment. He didn't cook. I mean, he could scramble eggs, but that's honestly about all he can do. And he said, "Why would I bother cooking?" He's like, "You're such a good cook. Why would I even bother?" It's a compliment and an excuse. Don't you think I don't see that? But I let that stuff slide. Because after all, he is right. And I can't dispute that. So, it is what it is. I can't leave those little thyme bits. They're so delicious. Oh, I love fresh thyme. Oh, they're so good. It's so good. Okay, so I'm just making sure those potatoes stay submerged because those are the ones we really are concerned about. Okay. And we'll just give it a couple minutes, like 5. Let's go with power. Let's see. Actually, no.
Kitchen timer.
Kitchen
Is it?
timer. Kitchen
Where is it?
timer.
Yes! He's not ready.
All right. Let it go for 5 minutes, and then we'll add it to our pot,
Check
and
it.
we'll be done. See you in a minute, you guys. All right. So now we're putting down some flour. We've taken our crust out of the fridge. It's been in there for about an hour. The longer, the better. Overnight's good too. And we're just gonna roll it out so that it fits your pie pan or whatever it is that you're using. You want it to be about an inch overlapping, whatever dish you're using. So that's what we're gonna aim for here. Let's see if this bad boy's gonna move. Keep flipping it because if you don't flip it, it sticks to your countertop. Like that. Okay. But anyway, so this is not. Again, we should have figured it a lot longer, but we didn't have the time, so we make do with what we got, right?
So if we had refrigerated it longer, would this not be happening?
It might not be happening, yeah. And Miss Diane did add flour, which to the board, which you should do, but I put a little bit more than I should have down. But yeah, because my dough does not do this. But again, I make it way earlier, and I just let it hang out in the fridge that way. It's like one less thing I have to worry about. Because this is time consuming, you know?
Yeah.
And if you have a food processor like I do, it's not time consuming, but then you have to wash the food processor, and that's time consuming. So either way, it's time consuming, you know what I mean? So I like to just get it done and know that in the back of my head, okay, that's one less thing I have to do, because everything's from scratch, and that just takes time. All right.
I don't know where it is.
I'm trying to seal these back together, but it's a little dry, which means too much flour now.
It's like a mystery.
That's they say baking is. Maybe that's why I don't bake as much. All right, so I made, and I already told this to the camera, but I made more than that's going to fill up this. So you're going to have this as soup. You can just add water or stock to thin it out, have it as a soup. Okay. But this isn't all going to fit into there. If you want, I can put it into the white crock pot Corningware that you have. Okay. Or I can just put it in here and then have the extra for soup or whatever you want to do within the fridge. What would you prefer?
Let's put it in the white. That sounds good.
Oh, there it is. So we just need it to be a little bit bigger than this. We're good. We're all good. Okay, so let's add. That's clean. That's not dirty, so I can just put that back. Dang, this is heavy. Ooh, girl, you're gonna be like a king for a long time. Holy guacamole. Ooh, wee. All right. Let's get all that baby out. We don't want to leave any of that goodness behind. Not any of it. Okay. Add some water so it's not sticking and easier to clean later. Okay. So, whoop. So here is our pot pie filling. That is a lot of pot pie. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. So now we're going to move this over to the crust. And a lot of people, I see they'll roll it up on their hand, on their rolling pin and then unravel it, but because ours is being silly, we're not going to do that. We're just going to, if it falls apart, we're going to just make it work. Because this is going to be delicious no matter how it looks. I kind of fold it over like this and smash it. People are fancy and they'll put an egg wash on here to help it stick. Oh, honey, it doesn't need egg wash. It sticks just fine. If you have extra time and you want to beat an egg and put it around the rim and then have it stick, go ahead. You don't need it. People do also put an egg wash on top, which you could do to make it more like a golden color. I don't do that, but you could. You could do that if you want. You know, it just depends on how much time you want to spend and how you want it to look. I go for the rustic look because honestly, that's how I do all my cooking. As long as it tastes like heaven, we don't care what it looks like. So, but if you're cooking for a party or something and you want it to look nice, then you would take your time with this. I'm not.
Yeah, I won't shoot you.
Because by the time I get to this point, I'm tired. I'm like, I just want to get this thing in the oven. You do need to make a couple slits in it. Obviously, just to let the steam out, because otherwise you might have like a blow up and then just some oven mess. So make some couple slits in it. Let me see. Can I see it on? Ooh-wee! She's pretty. I like to put pepper and salt on the top of mine, but you don't need to do that if you don't want to.
Let's do that.
Oh,
That sounds good.
all right. Just a little sprinkle dinkle. I don't do much because there's plenty inside. You don't want to over salt stuff, but it also adds kind of a little crunch, which I think is nice. Pepper, I've never met a pepper I didn't like. so waiting for that day. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven. It's at 375. And honestly, most things are just cooked through except for the crust isn't. So you're just baking it so that the crust is golden brown. Depending on your oven, I would say, I don't know. Let's just say between 25 and 35 minutes.
Do you ever put the bottom?
What?
When you make the crust, do you ever put the bottom?
Never.
inside?
Never. No. Mm-mm. Never.
Why not?
That's just more work. And you have to bake it first by itself.
Right.
And then take it out.
Filling.
Then put, and it makes it mush because you're adding liquid from your filling to it, so it's gonna mush up your fruit pie. Sure.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely. Pot pie? No, never.
Okay.
Now, to avoid, in case there is bubbling over, I like to put a pan underneath or something so with foil so that it's less cleanup for you, but it's your choice because you're the one that has to do the dishes. So however you want to do it. But I definitely put a pan because I did that. I did do that one time, and boy, I paid a price for that. Oh, perfect.
I usually put
Perfect.
parchment.
Parchment. Yep. Yeah. Parchment's good up to 400 degrees, so we're good because we're at 375. So this works fine. Right. Nice. Nice big. Ooh, that's really nice. Okay. Oh man. Now when I make this at home, I don't serve it with a side. It's just this. You could do a side salad, a green salad with it. It would be nice. But because it just takes so much time and people only have so much time and energy, let's be realistic, I just serve it by itself. Okay, so this thing is sliding around. So since this is sliding around so much, when you pull this out of the oven, it's going to slide on you. Okay? So if it touches you, you're going to burn yourself badly. So be really careful. Just know that it's going to hit you here when you pick it up.
Okay.
This is really slippery. Really slippery.
Do you want me to take out the top?
No.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're going to clear.
Yeah. Look at that. Very nice.
Okay. All right. So again, we're going to let that cook for 25 at a minimum to I'd say 35. And it depends on your oven and how hot it gets, and how thick your crust is and how close it is to the top burner, etc., etc., etc. So just watch it. After 25 minutes, check it. It's probably not going to be done. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably going to be closer to 35. But you don't know. I don't know your oven. So just watch it. And about by 35, it should be done. And if it takes an extra 5 after that, then give it an extra 5. Again, we made the dough pretty thick. Because we just did. That's just the way it worked out. So because of that, it might take a little longer too. But you cook it and then let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes before you cut into it, because it just makes it a big mess when it's piping hot. Where if you let it settle for a little bit, the thickening agent, like the flour we use, will help kind of set it up again, and so it won't be like just oozing everywhere. I mean, it's still pot pie, don't get me wrong. You want to serve it in a bowl, not a plate. But so, and you could do this too. We have those little oven safe bowls that I use when I make my French onion soup. You could do it like that, and then everybody have their own individual bowl. And then you could freeze the other 2 bowls. So just the 2 of you. You could freeze the other 2 with plastic wrap and something, a plastic bag or whatever to seal out the air. And then you could just pop it in the oven for a lot longer, because now you're dealing with frozen. But it's no different from the frozen pot pies you buy at the store where you have to cook them. You just have to cook them for about an hour.
Okay.
It's about 65 minutes.
Okay.
But, I mean, you could do that. Those are oven-safe bowls, and then everybody has their own portion. And then you just cut out a little rim of your dough for each one. So, anyway, that's it. We're done. That's it. We are all done, girl.